the catechism question, and it comes from the New City Catechism. And the question is, did God create us unable to keep his law? And then the answer given in the catechism, well, the kids' catechism, is no, but because of the disobedience of Adam and Eve, we are all born in sin and guilt, unable to keep God's law. And so the controversy has been about whether or not humans, in particular Adam and Eve, were originally created with the capacity to obey God. And so from the perspective of God's decree, as I understand it, Adam and Eve did just as God willed, and so in that sense, they could not have done anything else than what they did. But
well,
I guess my question would be more like, what does the Bible communicate about the original state of Adam and Eve, and in particular their ability to obey before the fall?
Yeah, there's no question the catechism is correct. The catechism is simply reflecting what all Orthodox Christians have believed from the beginning, and that is that God created man good. In fact, he was very good. And there was no created necessity in Adam to sin. It was not that there was a automatically provided defect that would guarantee this, anything along those lines whatsoever. We must differentiate between the secret decree and the revealed will of God. The revelation of God is that man was created upright, and the content of the decree is not something that Adam had access to, or it's not God standing behind Adam with a gun saying you're going to sin, or any of those things. So we have to be very, very careful at this point, because if we take the concept of the decree and claim to have some type of knowledge of it within time, that's going to cause a real major problem. So no, we can affirm that in God's decree, all of this was exactly what God intended. But at the same time, you have to recognize the unity that exists between that decree and the revelation that God gives to us, that God gave to Adam, that comes to us in Scripture and the law, et cetera, all of which comes after Adam. Adam is, I've used him as an example many, many times, of someone that it's absolutely useless to speculate about, because we have basically no more than at maximum 2 chapters worth of revelation about anything pre-fall. Right. Everything after that's afterwards. So it's pure speculation for anybody, even though a lot of people try to do that. And of course, that's where Jonathan Edwards got into trouble, is he attempted to dig into what we don't have sufficient revelation to answer questions about, and ended up even in John Gerstner's opinion, who is a huge Jonathan Edwards fan, in a morass of contradiction. And so, no, we have to affirm that Adam was made good, that he had the capacity in and of himself to do what was right. That doesn't answer the question as to whether it was God's intention for what happened to happen. The issue is, did he have that potentiality? Did he have that capacity? To say he didn't is to say he was created defective, and therefore was created to fall by nature. And that's not what that's not what has ever been affirmed. Because if you say that, then there was actually no intentionality on Adam's part. There was no rebellion. There was no deception. He did what he was supposed to do. You're sort of stuck with the Mormon view at that point, because they actually say Adam fell upward, that in the pre-existence it was determined that he would partake of the fruit so that mankind could come into existence, because Eve was going to fall, so he had to fall so he could be mortal, and then he wouldn't be able to have children with her if he didn't do the same thing. So he actually fell upward. So no, there was a true fall, and the fact that that was decreed does not make it any less of a true fall. And if we don't affirm it that way, then you end up with falling one side or the other off the cliff.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That really answers the answer. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nick.